This is the Kunjed Gyalpo, the all-creating monarch, translated by Jim Valby from Namkhai Norbu School. And so we're in chapter 6, One Root. So again, this is a play between the Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya elements of your own mind. So it's talking about your mind, here embodied by different characters. So let's read. It says, the all-creating monarch, pure perfect presence, spoke these words to explain that the essence of all phenomena is Dzogchen. Hey, Dorje Lekpa, listen to these words. I, the all-creating monarch, initially establish my phenomena. The direct manifestations of my phenomena teach my nature to you. When teaching my essence, I also point out the meaning through words and sounds. When I teach my nature, you will see. When I teach this essence, you will know the meaning of the syllable ah. When I teach the words, you will hear the meaningful sounds. After saying this, he remained in the nature of all phenomena without speaking. So this is like we were talking about in the group. I guess we talk about it every day. The direct manifestations would be the appearances, their Namanakaya display. And so when they teach the nature, what this means is that every phenomenon is expressing the nature of mind, of awareness. It's because all the phenomena can be provisionally said to come from awareness. There's no other place that they could come from. In the same way, like there's a dreamer, and all the phenomena in the dream are made of the mind of the dreamer, in the space of that mind, with the cognitive nature of that mind. So whatever phenomena are arising, whether you like them, you don't like them, you have no reaction to them, green, blue, red, stinky, whatever, all of them are mind, are of the same nature as awareness itself. Thus, when we learn about the four samayas, these apply equally to phenomena. A phenomenon, for example, is ineffable. It has no substantial existence. There is not a particle to be found that substantially exists. Identical to awareness itself. It's open. On any phenomenon, there is no limit. If you examine, you won't find a sharp boundary where one phenomenon ends and the next begins. You've never found anything like that survives scrutiny. It's filled with presence. It's the means by which you're aware of that phenomenon. It can only be made of presence, just as presence itself. And it's one. It's pervaded equally as with all other phenomena by the same essence, the same nature. So nothing differs from the mind. The mind of the dreamer in this analogy, but your awareness right now. Therefore, whatever phenomenon is occurring, it would be insane to try to get rid of it. It would be an erroneous view to try to correct it. The only way to hold those views, those erroneous views, would be to forget awareness and accept the premise of the content, to enter into some thought about what's arising. If you simply don't do that, then it's a magical display of awareness, not separable from awareness itself. Empty appearances. So to really relate with phenomena in this way, you can find quite a lot of peace. Your practice will be much easier. Tendencies to fight with things will go away naturally, just by seeing what they are. Yeah, Lynn.
So the nature is the same as the essence, but there's a difference Could you say what that difference is in terminology?
Yeah, the essence refers to the Dharmakaya, and the nature refers to the Sambhogakaya.
So it's the way it functions, the way it moves, the way it.
Yeah,
Okay.
remember the dream analogy. So in the dream analogy, Dharmakaya would be the space, the basic space of the dream. And the Sambhogakaya would be the cognitive lucidity that pervades that space.
Lucidity, right? The lucidity, the illuminated knowingness. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a knowingness prior to knowingness. It's that out of which knowing is made.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the nature. I also point out the meaning through words and sounds. Oh, see, here they have it switched a little bit. It's like we were reading also in the way of abiding. So in the Kunjed Gyalpo, they talk about the nature as Dharmakaya and essence as Sambhogakaya. But as we read from Longchenpa, it winds up being exactly the same as the other way. And so in this group, we just have a preference for essence as Dharmakaya, nature as Sambhogakaya. But that's why it's presented this way.
Aha. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's why it says the essence is words and sounds. Those would be the elements, which would be the Sambhogakaya aspect. And so the meaning of refers to the Tibetan seed syllable, the root. Oh yeah, she has it too. Yeah, on the YouTube, it's the image. It's this, like we have in the group. That's the Tibetan So all the other syllables are derived from that one. Therefore, it's the root. So it's an analogy that works a lot better in Tibetan than in English. So after Dorje Sempa rose up from the retinue, he sat down with manifest radiance in front of the all-creating monarch, pure perfect presence. The all-creating monarch said, "Hey, Mahasattva, you are present before me with radiance. Please ask whatever you wish about the meaning." Thus he spoke. And Dorje Sempa asked, "Hey, teacher of teachers, all-creating monarch, if all phenomena are your essence, why do you manifest teachers, teachings, and retinues? What is the reason for the perfections?" Thus he asked. The perfections, I believe, would refer to the great elements. And then, the great elements and also the teacher, teachings, retinue, the listeners. So then the all-creating monarch, pure perfect presence, spoke the following. "Hey, Mahasattva, listen. Phenomena are manifested as the perfections. My state is the essence of the perfections. I will teach my essence to you. My essence is non-conceptual and indivisible. This abode of Dharmadhatu was created by me, but still does not abide as something other than the state of pure perfect presence." So Dharmadhatu, which here is the essence, so this is in agreement with how we use the terminology in this group. The three kayas, as they're traditionally explained, are manifestations of the Buddha body. And so they are created. They are in union, and the union is often called the ground. So, regardless of what was created, even this womb, the empty basic space prior to the arising of the Dang energy. So, this would be like a mirror, even before, although of course there's no time, but without the natural reflexivity. just the space itself. Even that is awareness, and everything else derives from that. Therefore, everything is awareness. Seth is asking the meaning of created. Yeah, even the kayas are manifestations, as they're traditionally explained in this text. So the all-creating monarch is that which emanates the three kayas. Well, not manifested substantially. It means, it's hard to explain creation. It's not substantial existence. It's as they are for you now. So as this Dharmakaya is, as this awareness is. What is the essence? Yeah, Dharma Dhatu here is referred to as the essence, which is Dharmakaya minus the Dang energy. But you can think of it as roughly synonymous with Dharmakaya. Okay, yes, we can explain Dang energy. That's probably a good question. So remember the three kayas. With relation to the mind of a dreamer, there's the space in which the dream is held. That's the Dharmakaya. There's the cognizance that completely pervades that space. That's the Sambhogakaya. And there's the appearances, the display. That's the Nirmanakaya. And so these things, although we talk about them as nouns, they're not really nouns. They're not things that exist substantially. You can't pin them down, and you can't really distinguish them. They're not objects. And so another way to talk about the same thing is through the actions that they perform. What do they do? And when we do this, we talk about the three energies, which don't get translated because any translation would probably just confuse people more. And so these are called Dang, Rolpa, and Tsal, respectively. So they're traditionally explained by use of analogies. So Dang, for the Dharmakaya energy, and this is what the Dharmakaya does, it has this energy that's like the mirror, the potential of a mirror to reflect anything without kind of prior to that reflection arising, just the inherent natural reflexivity, the ability for anything to arise. And so in this space, it's the ability for anything to arise in the space whatsoever, unrestricted. If there's karma, karma itself arises in that space. The Sambhogakaya is explained in its action by the Rolpa energy with analogy to a crystal ball. This is like a big ball that you would place on a desk made out of glass. When you look in one of these balls, it kind of, the entire room around you or whatever is around you appears as if it's inside the ball. It has this internalizing effect. In just the same way, the lucidity contains everything within itself. Sambhogakaya is the natural radiance. That radiance can be thought of as inner. Everything is internal. Nothing is outside of awareness. When there's more of a projection, people refer to this as knowingness. They say things like awareness knows everything. That's only so because everything is that cognizance. It's all internal to that cognizance. And then the last energy is Tsal, which is explained by means of a prism. When this clear light, this white light hits a prism, it manifests as the five colors. It paints whatever it wants. And so just like that, appearance is manifest through the clear light of the Sambhogakaya. And then Nirmanakaya has this capacity to do that. The clear light becomes things, or at least seems to. Appearances arise. It's always a good use of time to go over the three kayas. Was that clear? Any questions? Yeah, we'll go over it again and again. So if this doesn't stick, don't worry. We'll talk about it many more times. So, all creating monarch says, unobscured and all-pervading, my essence is the palace of wisdom, luminous space. Nothing exists other than the state of self-originated wisdom. Because I am the source from which everything manifests, the 5 great elements and the 6 lokas in the 3 realms are not other than my body, voice, and mind. And the 6 lokas are like the gods, demigods, humans, etc. And the 3 realms are form, formless, and desire, which basically just means everything. Absolutely everything that manifests does not differ from the body, voice, and mind of the all-creating monarch, which is you, your mind, your awareness. It says, in this way, I manifest my essence. The Buddhas of the 3 times and sentient beings of the 3 realms display my essence to you. Because my essence is unborn and transcends concepts, it is non-abiding, and it transcends all objects of experience. It does not appear, and it transcends the realm of cultivating contemplation. And it's like in the previous chapter that we read. Concept cannot really explain it. It's the basis of everything. So it's what a concept is made out of. It's the cognitive energy of that concept. Thus, you cannot approach it. You also cannot really get further from it. So the all-creating monarch says, although my essence does not appear to you, my nature appears to you. And this would be the Sambhogakaya. So this is how we use the terminology. My essence that appears as the 3 realms, the 5 great elements, and the 6 lokas manifests from the 5 wisdoms of pure perfect presence. The self-originated source manifests these wisdoms. The 5 sense objects clearly manifest from the 5 wisdoms. 5 passions manifest from 5 sense desires. The specific fruits that mature from the 5 passions manifest the specific karmic visions of the 6 types of beings. I display these appearances to you. So that's explaining how the appearances are generated through the Sambhogakaya into the Nirmanakaya, and then finally as appearances. And the point of this is that all of these are still the all-creating monarch. Nothing that's created differs. The 3 Kaya teachers, it says next, teach the 6 vehicles. If I teach specific vehicles, you will not experience the meaning of Dzogchen. Each teacher teaches specific aspects of my essence. My nature is specific for each teacher. Specific natures of specific bodies, specific voices, and specific minds are perceived by different retinues. These manifestations themselves display my essence. The authentic nature of all phenomena is displayed by me, pure perfect presence. The nature of space beyond concepts is my state. The sacred birthplace of all Buddhas is my state. The Rolpa energies of the 6 lokas and the 3 realms manifest from me. Different joys, sufferings, and karmic causes display my authentic, unmistaken Tuji energies. Do not give my all-creating lung transmission to those who follow vehicles of cause and effect. If you explicitly teach them my lung transmission, they will say, there exists cause and effect, produced from good and bad karma. Because they will affirm and deny things within the real me. For a long time, they will not meet with the real me. I am the teacher, all creating pure perfect presence. Pure perfect presence is the all creating monarch. The Buddhas of the three times are created by pure perfect presence. Ali is asking what lung is. Now, lung is the word for transmission. Lung transmission. So in this context, it means transmitting Dzogchen. So don't tell people about Dzogchen who believe in karma, who are still stuck in good and bad, because it won't do them any good. Although above, the all-creating monarch said that these things do not differ from their essence. They are still, all the teachings, even those of cause and effect, are still the same display, still made of the same great wisdoms, it's the same energy, but people can't notice that. They can't know it for themselves when they're stuck in these teachings. So it continues, the Buddhas of the three times are created by pure perfect presence. The sentient beings of the three realms are created by pure perfect presence. The animate and inanimate universes are created by pure perfect presence. Their creation is explained in terms of cause, effect, example, meaning, and evidence. At the time of the cause, the five great elements are created. At the time of the effect, the sentient beings of the three realms are created. At the time of the example, space is created as the example for everything. At the time of meaning, unbornness, which is probably like ineffability here, is displayed as the meaning for everything. At the time of signs, there is all creating pure perfect presence. At the time of evidence, self-originated wisdom is described. Cause, effect, example, meaning, and evidence are all in agreement with how everything is created by pure perfect presence. But the one presence was not created. All creations are created as the essence of pure perfect presence. It is not necessary to do anything in the one state not created by anyone. I think clear to this group, right? So it continues, if my all-creating essence is not examined, one will consider that the phenomena created by me are definitive. Yeah, that they're substantial. If you haven't met with awareness, you haven't recognized the essence, well, things seem real. Thus, one confirms manifestations due to desires and passions. Yeah, it's a huge trap, right? Because the things that manifest are manifest in according with your view, in accordance with your view. If you believe that things are a certain way, you will tend to confirm that. Things will agree with it. And so that will solidify. So how can you see their nature? Well, here, whatever manifests is like a pointer. It's all a finger pointing at its nature. And you can discern this in the gaps between things. When a thought arises, where did it arise from? When a thought goes, where did it go to? In the space between thoughts, how are you not dead? There's still a cognizance. You can familiarize with this. Yeah. So, although manifestations are impermanent illusions that vanish, one is then like a blind person who is not certain. Not understanding that everything is created by the all-creating monarch, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas experience suffering with regards to what manifests to the six sense organs as the 6 sense objects. And so the normal 5 plus thoughts, right? They try to block the senses, or in other words, they try to cultivate internal stability or calmness. To reach a calmness of the senses, you have to block. Even if you're still and not having thoughts, there's a pulse, there's breathing, there's transference of heat. You're sitting on something. Maybe. So to block all of that out and try to make a little cocoon, well, what are they blocking out? How did they make this cocoon of calmness? Well, it's conditioned, and it was done by ignoring the nature of what those things are. They were rejecting phenomena. And as we heard here, phenomena do not differ from awareness. Thus, awareness itself was rejected. You cannot rest in awareness while rejecting it. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah, she says, yeah, this is like a roadmap, how to get every answer about everything on Dzogchen, which is why Longchen emphasized it so much, probably. So they try to block the senses because followers do not understand that phenomena are created by the All-Creator. There is no fruit beyond birth and cessation based on these paths. They never get out of karma, in other words. So after bodhisattvas produced 2 truths about the one definitive truth, which is what we were talking about in the morning session, right? At least in part. The 2 truths being relative and ultimate. That there's kind of a way that bodhisattvas can analyze. It's taught in Mahayana. The relative would be like appearances, and ultimate would be like emptiness. And they get a kind of conceptual idea about appearances and a conceptual idea about emptiness. And then they, or at least as I was taught in Mahayana, I'm speaking mostly about myself here, would try to merge the 2. They would be holding a duality, believing them to be somewhat contradictory, and then believing them both and calling it a paradox. You can do that, but that's not what's taught in Dzogchen. So here it says, so they produced 2 truths about the one definitive truth. Yeah, that's what we have in Dzogchen, the one definitive truth, also called ultimate truth, which is the union. They're already in union. You don't need to hold a paradox. You don't need to do anything. So they accept ultimate and relative truths about the real condition created by me, the All-Creator. But the cause and effect of the true truths does not really exist. So the fruit beyond cause and effect is not experienced. Striving for non-existent fruit, followers of outer tantras try to cultivate pure contemplation, the 7 branches of sadhana, and 4 miracles to produce what has not manifested. In this way, they do not attain the fruit beyond acceptance and rejection. Followers of the inner tantras cultivate 3 aspects of contemplation about the one state. And gradually developing the 4 aspects of approach and achievement, they are never in that fruit beyond struggle and achievement. Being self-perfected, presence is beyond all actions and actors. Through hearing words such as unborn, cannot be pointed out, cannot be labeled, one may understand this inexpressible state beyond affirmation and negation. The example to illustrate that all phenomena are pure perfect presence, bodhicitta, is the universal example of space. The same example is used to illustrate the meaning of pure perfect presence. The 5 manifestations, space, air, water, earth, and fire, are marvelous enlightenment, manifesting from pure perfect presence. Manifestations such as the 3 worlds, the 5 paths, and the 6 types of beings are manifest enlightenment, unperturbed by the maturation of karma. The three realms are the body, voice, and mind, primordial, pure, perfect presence. Actually, how much longer is in this chapter? Are we close to the end? Just because I'm cognizant of time. Oh, yeah, maybe we'll make a second session out about it. Let's read the next sentence because it starts with a thus. Yeah, thus. So thus, because everything is pure perfect presence, thus, no phenomenon of the universe, of animate and inanimate phenomena, does not abide in the realm of space. And Buddhas, sentient beings, and the universe abide within the vastness of this total dimension of pure perfect presence. And Dawai would say the multiverse, if you want to use this group's lingo. Oh, very nice. We can pick it up next time. Thanks for going through this, everyone. Any comments or questions? All right, very good. Let's dedicate. In this presence right now, there are sentient beings who are suffering. Any merit or goodness we may have generated here today, dedicate it all to them in a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone.